Over the past 20 years, Eric has been in and out of hospital more than 100 times. He's had more than 30 surgeries and he's been in constant pain. Eric lives here in the island of Guernsey, where until recently he was the pastor of a church, and we asked him to describe what happened to him.
Well, my background is that I became a committed Christian in my mid-teens and very quickly felt called to be involved in Christian leadership, Christian ministry. So I was ordained and first of all trained for ministry and then ordained. And from earliest years, following my marriage to Diane, was a pastor of churches in the UK, here in the Channel Islands. And then I became a missionary overseas, working in media with FIBA Radio, and then in frontline church missions on mainland Africa with Elim International Missions in Zimbabwe. And then I returned to the UK when our only child needed secondary education and became the senior pastor of a large church in the centre of Cardiff in South Wales, where I really enjoyed the ministry and particularly the opportunity to work with university students in large numbers and also with the congregation of all ages. And after about 3 years from when we came back from Africa, I became quite unwell. Well, very ill really, and it was all digestive problems, and a lot of it I put down to stress at first and didn't do much about it. But then eventually it was found that I had a problem with gallstones, with a lot of small gallstones in my gallbladder, and I was admitted to hospital to have the gallbladder removed. And then the pain didn't resolve. In fact, I got a lot worse. And it appeared that some of those gallstones had migrated to the pancreatic duct, which can happen. And a known complication of these digestive troubles called pancreatitis just became a part of my life. I started suffering from chronic pancreatitis. And then I went to, I had to stand down from leading the church, and I went through a period of many hospitalizations. I came back to Guernsey for a period of rest to try and recover, but things got worse and worse. And since 1997, I've been admitted to hospital in Guernsey, in Southampton and in London more than 100 times. I've spent long periods during those admissions in hospital. I've had more than 30 surgeries, 10 of them major operations. I've also experienced pain more than I can express. Pancreatitis is one of the most painful conditions known to man. The pain is described as being like the pain of a heart attack, but it just doesn't stop. 9 out of 10 of the people who suffer from acute hemorrhaging pancreatitis, which I've had, die from it. I survived, but only just, and after several near-death encounters in intensive care units. I've also had acute necrotizing pancreatitis, and I've had portions of my pancreas removed, so that I'm fortunate to be alive, but I suffer with chronic pain. I'm on huge doses of morphine daily. I have within me a spinal neurostimulator, a computerized form of pain control, which costs about £30,000, and unfortunately it's failed. It worked well for 3 years, but it's failing now, and so I'm daily in intense pain.
Added to what Eric's been through himself, his granddaughter also has some major health issues.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's wonderful. Our only son and our only granddaughter from him has been through terrible times just like me. She's only 17 or 18 months and she's had open heart surgery, and she's had real problems in major surgery where mistakes have been made, and she suffered as a result of it. But we love her dearly, and sadly she will carry the effects of the hard start she's had all her life, and her parents will struggle all her days. That's not a 5-minute job, that's not an 18-year job. That will be for the whole of her life. They'll have to look after her special needs, but she's an absolute delight.